Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Center of Love. Welcome to those of you joining us online via Zoom. Good to see you virtually here. And of course, everybody in person. Lovely to see your faces. Yes, welcome to another Sunday gathering at the Center of Love, a living community of seekers, learners, and rememberers. Each time we meet, we recreate a sacred circle, a space of honesty, curiosity, and respect. Here we come not to be taught what to believe, but to practice remembering what we already know. We listen deeply, speak from the heart, and hold one another in the light of compassion. At the Center of Love, we understand that awakening is not a solitary event. It is a shared unfolding. Each of us carries a unique piece of the greater truth, and when we gather, those pieces begin to align. Together, we form a living mandala, ever-changing, ever revealing more of what love truly is. And so, as a friendly reminder for those of you who may be new, or as a refresher for those of us who have been here many times, couple ground rules in order to keep the container safe and sacred. So we like to make sure that the presenter, the speaker, holds the floor. So when someone is speaking or sharing from the pulpit, we try to listen with our full attention. Sharing and questions is welcome during the designated time, which is during the circle discussion after we do a little bit of practice after the talk. Ritual elements are host-led so that we all move together as one. And above all, we practice respect, kindness, and curiosity toward one another. And with that in mind, I will welcome our president, CEO, corporate overlord, Dre Levac, to light our candle of love on this fine Sunday.
This Thanksgiving Sunday.
Yes,
On
indeed.
which I'm extremely grateful. We're all here, that this community exists. And that is all just a wonderful thing. And the representation of this candle of what's getting them primed. Thank you. Is a representation of each of our lights. Each of us is a light in the world. One's world, one's light. More than that. And so remember that when you see this candle, reflect on the light of him.
Thank you, Dre. No starting fires down. Awesome. Thank you for that. All right, my friends, today's journey invites us to explore what Joseph Campbell called the monomyth, the universal story that lives within every soul. Campbell showed that across all cultures and times, the hero's journey follows a sacred rhythm: departure, initiation, and then return. A call to adventure shakes the ordinary world. A threshold must be crossed. Trials awaken hidden strength, and ultimately, the traveler returns transformed, bearing the gifts for his community or her community. But the hero is not only the warrior who slays dragons, it is also the healer who learns to listen to the body's quiet wisdom. The hero's journey is not just out there in distant lands. It unfolds within the landscapes of our own hearts, our nervous systems, our very selves. This is the heart of Tracey Malanowich's work and the essence of this talk, which she is about to deliver. Tracey is a trained energy and nutrition coach, an NLP Master Coach, which sounds very fancy. And she has discovered that everything in life follows a pattern, that alignment with one's personal energy can lead to profound transformation. She teaches that true health is not simply the absence of illness, but the full presence of life, body, mind, and soul working in harmony. In her own journey, Tracey has walked the path from self-discovery to service, embodying what Joseph Campbell called the return with the elixir, bringing back wisdom for others who are ready to awaken to their own vitality. This morning, Tracey will guide us to see our bodies not as obstacles, but as allies, not as machines that require fixing, but as sacred vessels for the soul's mission, here on earth. So with that in mind, please join me in welcoming our speaker and fellow traveler, Tracey Malanowich.
Thank you. My job is done.
Just getting started.
I love it. Thanks so much. And welcome, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here. This is literally my favorite topic. I love to talk about the body. I is your partner on that journey. So let's get into it.
Get the microphone close to you. So you can
I'll
hear you.
grab it. I forgot
You
about
want
the
to hold it?
microphone.
You
Yeah.
gonna hold on to it? Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Very good.
All right. Thank you again. So yes, health, a hero's journey. What is health? And who here wants more? Is it lack of disease? That's right. Or is it more than that? Most people think it's easy. They think it's eat, sleep, and exercise, body and brain. And I'm here to share that there's more to it. One definition is a state of mind, body, spirit, well-being, where as a whole one can experience the joy of living. I like to see it more as the human being experience and go more direct body to being, utilizing the brain or the mind, simply to alchemize for what you want as a tool. Now, why is it important to define it? Because we need to know where we're going if we're going to get there. Even the good book, old book says a man without a vision is lost. So we need to know where that destination is if you're going from Halifax to Vancouver, because you want to point in the right direction, right? And what could help you to obtain it? Energy. You've got to fuel the car and you need a roadmap. Well, I'm here to tell you, with your body, with that inner journey, the fuel is energy. There was a healer, Adam Dream Healer, if you've heard of him, and he used to say he never understood the game of hide and seek. Here was the tree and here was your aura. So why would people do that? So we are more than what we see. And today I'm going to share with you the hero's journey roadmap to get there. Let's look at our hero, every one of you, of the journey, sitting here in the ordinary world of illusions, like a little chick. And I put that up there because there was a scientist in the 20s, and he studied chicken cells. And he said, a chicken has the average lifespan 5 to 10 years. But he took those cells and he put them in a petri dish away from any harm, like a little terrarium, all protected. And he gave oxygen, nutrients, and the ability to eliminate. And they continued this, caring for these cells. And 50 years later, not 5 to 10 years, when Otto died, those cells were still alive. So the ordinary world, I invite you to see, is made up of beliefs, identities, and maybe trapped emotions in our system. And perhaps aging itself is a belief. Now, one of the things that I do in my work is to study bioenergetics, which is energy in living systems. And so I do what's called voice scans, and your voice has unlimited number of frequencies. As we speak, we create. And would it be helpful to know what it's saying? So on the sidebars here, as we go through each of the hero's journeys, you'll see little ratings. And so here is acceptance, where we accept that where we are, we can then move forward. This was off of a scan where that was what the person needed to know in order to move forward. So what your voice tells you is simply data. And there'll be these on many of the screens as we go through, and I might not reference them, but I want you to know that this is data that you can obtain to use on your journey. So as we wake up from the ordinary world, the next thing is the call to adventure. Now, the call to adventure can come in many ways. It can just be inquisitiveness. It can be a wondering and seeing the patterns and cycles of life and times. Here at this stage of life, I go through this, and in this season, this happens, and beginning to understand that there's fractals in the world that repeat and repeat and repeat that we can align with. And you question things, and it's important to question everything, because many of those beliefs that you have aren't even yours. Next comes the wake-up call. Whether it's a health issue, and myself, I had a pancreatic cancer diagnosis, or it's a relationship gone sour, or a job you got fired from. The wake-up call will come, and you can choose to embrace it, or you can refuse it and go back into cycles of time. Having confidence that you are here as a powerful creator helps. Next, if you choose to take up the journey, comes the opportunity to meet the guide and ask questions. There's always someone that's done it. So if you're wondering if there's a way, there is, and if there isn't, then it's your job to create it. After that, you'll cross the threshold to destiny. This is where you decided there is a way, and I am going to. You don't fall back into refusal. You don't go back into the cycles of time. You own time. Now, once you've made that choice, it doesn't mean the journey is easy. There will always be people to test you. Even your loved ones, well-meaning, will say that's not safe. You need to have the surgery. You need to take the pill. You need to do the thing that everybody does. But do you? When you look within and you find your own power, you may find better answers. You may turn to that body, that wisdom that was gifted to you, that's a best friend, and it may know better than you know. Now, as you do that, you need to align your approach. Once you've made that choice, you've embraced courage, it's time to do something different than what was done before. Maybe not mechanistic, but holistic, and you're aligning with those three pillars of your health: the brain, body, and being, and the inner listening that comes with that. And for this, I invite you not to embrace an identity, but an archetype, a healthy archetype, whereas identities can have lower or more egotistical energies with them. An archetype simply is a pioneer, for example. You're going out into the world where no one's gone before, and you're embracing a journey with enthusiasm. This is a healthy way to go versus I'm a patient, which maybe is disempowering. Can I be a pioneer instead? And right after that comes another choice point. No one said this journey was easy, right? We go from the ordeal, and for myself, there was a pancreatic cancer diagnosis, as I said, and they wanted to do a surgery for which my body winced when I heard. And that was my answer, my listening to my inner wisdom, to choose something different, knowing death could wait. The surgery was scheduled 3 months out, and it only took me 6 weeks to turn the diagnosis around. So what's possible is far better than what's probable from a probabilistic look at things or a mechanistic look. From there, we move on. You need to keep going. You've gone through that death and rebirth, but it isn't over. It isn't easy. You've got to rebuild, and you need to engage here with passion. This is the time to really dig in. It doesn't mean you're fighting. It means you're the victor. You know you're going to win no matter what. This is an identity I embrace you. I encourage you all to embrace. You are guaranteed to win. You are here. You would not be here if you did not have all that you needed to accomplish this, whatever is before you. Now, once you've done that, you're on the road back. You slip into the patterns, the cycles, the flow, the rhythm. Everything becomes easier. Obstacles seem like opportunities to me. Excitement mounts. You get to enjoy the joy of the journey. You have the wisdom within you, the knowing, and it stays. Do you get that? It stays. Who here wants to have that knowing that you are powerful no matter what? It's right. And then you return with the elixir. We're all here to contribute back. We come with a purpose, a meaning. You're here. If you're here for a reason, and you're needed and wanted. And your body and your energy, that's your foundation for this journey. So I encourage you all to start there, to do what you need. And the three things that always helped me that you can do today to get empowered is to take full responsibility. We can only change that which we own. Get informed, get the data. The regular medical system has some of the most powerful diagnostics on a mechanistic physical level. Measure and monitor your energy as well. If you've been to a Reiki practitioner or any other type of healer, you know that the energy is there. Voice scanning and many other modalities help you to see what you're not seeing. And what happens when we can see it is we can begin to accept that it's there rather than reject, deny, and suppress it. And then do your best and rest. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and I'm not saying you don't need a day off. Just make sure that every day you know you did your best to align with who you really are. And what if a human being is literally a rock star? Part physical here in the ordinary world, like a rock. Like I think Einstein said, the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. Well, what if the field is that part of light and energy, that extraordinary world that you're embracing? So literal rock star. And the brain, the mind, it's simply a tool that your being uses to create something new every day. So that when we're not focused on this, that narrow focus, we can see who we really are. And what if all you need to do is get information and align with your power? That's simple. Ask for what you want. And what if possibilities beyond your imagination were easier than you thought, more worth it than the story you've been telling yourself? Your energy is your essence, your being, the extraordinary world. I ask you to embrace it. Thank you for being you, showing up, honest, open, and willing to do beyond the journey.